I'm Ilan Averbach, and this is a show titled Thoughts. I'm quite full with doing large work, and so I thought, okay, I'll show the models and the materials, the intimate materials, the thought process behind those works, and that's why the show called Thoughts. It's almost like a mini retrospective of a certain period or a certain chunk of work. It has to do with the fact that when you do large work in a gallery, there are 3 rooms here, I can do 3 works or 4 works. In this case, I can show a lot and from different periods. So I could show much larger period of time and the development of thought from a project to project. There's another thing, when you go smaller in scale, they're not so small, but when you go smaller in scale, it's not about the confrontation between you and the work, it takes you to another place. The relationship between the drawing and the sculpture, the maquettes, are normally when we see the drawings are a frame that we are going through and see another world. We can mimic the world as I am going to build it inside. I can create a landscape, I can create all kinds of things, and sometimes it serves as a sort of reference points. All the influences that came to the work are appearing in the drawing. Models or maquettes, even if they're a large one, they end up below us. So they get this isometric view, which we are not going to see in reality unless we are going to build a 10-story high building next to the site. And then we will see it from above. They end up as an object, and that's the case also when in architectural projects. You see models in architecture, you see them on a table. It's an isolating view that shows the work well, but from a certain perspective, not from the position of a human walking on the ground. So I like the intimacy of the models, where we see them as an object, but I like the view that the drawing permits. And the combination of the two create the fuller picture. I started my work as a child in Israel, and Israel is full of stone. And so that stone was in the background of my life always. Wood came later when I came to New York, and I saw, there are a lot of forests and a lot of trees, and even in the city there is a lot of remains of things in wood, like big beams from buildings. And it has somewhat of a primitive architecture feeling. I'm the primitive man who builds his own house, and so I can do what I feel like. And so that's a big part of my work, creating something that doesn't seem to be the normal kind of way things are supposed to stand. I can also play with materials, and because I'm coming from drawing, and drawing are connected to painting and colors, I can introduce also color via choosing different materials and all the connotations that connect to these different materials. When we put stone and water or stone and steel, there is different warmth, different materials, and the combination of all these things is creating a lot of my work. And so you can think of it as painting with material rather than painting with color. The genesis of the work is such that a lot of my work are very imagistic, and those images come from a variety of sources. I travel a lot, and they come from a lot from my traveling, and I kind of became a sculptor while I was doing this big voyage in South America. I read a lot, and so they come a lot from books, images in books or bits of information in books that provoke an image. And so it's a combination of materials that come from printed matter or from real life. And then I usually do small sketches in a notebook, and those sketches are in my notebooks, and I pluck the paper from my notebook, and then I have them on my walls, sometimes for years. Then comes an exhibition or a public project, and when those comes, I have all this sort of library of images around me, and I feel what fits and what doesn't fit. So even today, as we were waiting for this shoot of the video, I was wandering here, and from one of the drawings here, I came up with an idea of what I should propose in my next competition in Florida. And so it was a very beneficial time to sort of spend waiting for the setup here to make a decision, which we don't allow ourselves very often.